Greetings, my name is Slight. Let's jump into a Vanessa run here. I'm going to change my loadout real quick. I always want to use this legendary skin, but I just hate her haircut. It is so like disproportional, and like this this gaudy jacket that she's wearing, so disproportional to like the cool tech stuff that's like all business. Like, this skin just doesn't make any sense to me, so I'm not going to use this one. But I don't want to use Pouty Lip Vanessa today. Let's go with the Grand Founder one. Yep. We're going to keep Mysteries of the Deep on. Generally, I think this is slightly weaker to have this on, but it is more fun to have it on, so I will keep it on. And let's just make sure we're recording. We are. Let's jump into the game. All right. Vanessa's quarters it is. So I need to decide if I'm going to play optimally or if I'm going to play for fun. So I think that the best options here are either the gold or the skill. I will probably try to play optimally because I think it's a little bit more instructive, and this is meant to be more of an over-explain than just a casual run. Enchanted item is super fun. You know, there's a reason Crypt goes for this every time because it is really fun. And I've had some really fun builds because of it. Just my last build was an aquatic depth charge build where I started with an icy Clamora and held on to it the whole fight, the whole game. But you know, what can you do? What can you do? Let me just balance these things out really quick. Do like that. Okay, that being said, I think that we're going to go with the gold skill. The reason I like this is because obviously right-handed, right eye, and these kind of sparks here, these fire skills are really, really strong. One of the ways that I have been doing very well on Vanessa is hunting for these burn starting items because they're super strong in the early days, and then using that to transition into a powerful build in the mid and late game that may have no burn in it. But just one burn item with Immolating Spark is enough sometimes to carry you for, 2 or 3 days. And those early wins really matter a lot. So I really like Immolating Spark here. I read this as not +9 burn, but, win your first 3 engagements, especially when you get something like Furnace here. Really hard to say no to that. Clearly the best thing for us because, if we get a lighter here, we are set. That's not very good. I forgot that this is an item that I could get. A good example of how the new items are detrimental in their impact. But, if I can get some slow, maybe I'll be able to make up for this lackluster item that I have here. So I think that I die from the Viper in like 18 seconds or so, which makes this pretty risky. I would do 20 damage, and then 11 burn is 11 times 5, 55 plus 11, so like something like 66 damage, which is enough to kill on my first attack, right? So I think we're good. 66 plus 20 is 86, which is greater than 75, if I've done my math correctly. If I haven't done my math correctly, I think we lose barely, which would be embarrassing. And I'll also be checking to make sure that my calculation on when I win is correct. Boom. Okay, cool. Yep. Plenty of damage there. I think I did my calculation correct. Oh, awesome. Got Toxic Fang. Nice. Look at all these. Look at all this stuff we're doing. So this is whenever I slow, I gain that burn. I do have a friend. So the best choice here is Tiny Furry Monster. So I've talked about this in other runs, but if you haven't seen me talk about it, when you're trying to calculate how much experience that you have left in a day, what you want to do is calculate the number of open circles left in your day before the fight. So I know I'm going to get 2 more experience, all right? 2 more experience before the end of day 1. If I take a 3 experience fight on day 2, then I need at least 1 extra experience to be able to get to level 3 before the end of day 2, which is a very critical milestone to hit. All that being said, that's why, oops, you go to the tiny furry monster. I'll pause. Okay, I'm reconnected, and yep, tiny furry monster here. I've got a bunch of money, which, you know, you kind of think I might want to go to the ammo guy, because then I would get pop snappers maybe. And actually, in retrospect, there might have been some value to doing that, but it was hard for me to pass up on one experience, and I know I get one opportunity further, and hopefully something on this, because I have this one open circle. I know I have one more day left, right? Sometimes it can be hard for new players to understand exactly kind of how much they have left in the day to do. But because I know I have that one open circle, I get one more option to get some items and spend this 10 gold that I've got burning a hole in my pocket. We could take a upgrade here from the Lost Crate. We could take some extra damage, both of which is essentially like gaining poison on Toxic Fang probably. But neither of those are good as good as Kina, which could be much stronger. Like this. Boom. Much stronger. Next question is, do I want Coral Armor? I think Coral Armor is actually pretty good in the early game. I know that in my tier list, I have it pretty low ranked down here. But the only time that it's like kind of decent is in this like kind of early game situation. You know, where you're basically getting around 10 shield a second. It just scales so poorly. There's also a case to be made for taking Fishing Rod here. Because jellyfish and pearls are both good even at bronze, as well as ambergris. So this isn't the worst pick either. It leaves something to be desired, though. Definitely leaves something to be desired. That is undoubtedly the case. But so one of the things is you don't want to overcommit for the early fights. You know, like I am in a strong position because I have Immolating Spark. I've got my Pop Snappers. This is a lot of damage. You know, assuming we did 13 damage without it actually stacking. Like if there's no stacking involved, 13. That's 12 plus 1 divided by 12 plus 1 is 13 times 6 is 78 plus 13, 91 damage. Assuming we don't do any stacking. So that was if this applied every like 7 seconds. That's what we would do. We actually do way more because this stacks itself. That being said, it's not quite enough to win outright, and we're getting no poison from Toxic Fang. As much as I'd like to take Coral Armor, I think like if I get an ammo solution here, something like that actually will end up being far more impactful than Coral Armor will be. So I think I've done a good job talking myself out of these two options and wanting to reroll. Yeti Crab's pretty good. It actually synergizes here with Toxic Fang. And the Honing Steel, the reason that this is situationally OP up here, right there, in situationally OP, is because of these early game maneuvers. So very happy with that reroll. I think this is a great option to field right now. Do I want a Seaweed? No. I want my $2 more than I want a Seaweed. So we are one experience away, and we get to fight the Bazaar's competitor, MTG Arena. The entire platform itself. Jabalian Longbow. He has a gold rush, which is insane. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, and this is 91 damage per application, by the way, of 13 burn. So that should have been 91 times 3 earlier when I was doing that calculation. Perfectly happy to just continue down this burn path. None of those other ones are... I mean, I don't really know what I'm up to, right? As far as my build's concerned, nothing that I have is like leading me down a direct path. So I'm in kind of no rush. Well, I actually don't want that on the board. I'm in no rush to pick skills now for some future build that I don't know exists. And this is just a solid way to play the early game on Vanessa. Perfectly happy with the powder flask. I already have one friend, so the pet rock's really not very valuable here. And I don't really see much value also in re-rolling. Mostly because I just would prefer to keep my gold, and I'm relatively happy with what's on my board. Yeah, so really not in a huge rush. I'm doing 17 times 8 damage with pop snappers every time I use it. Small weapon, jungle ruins, or Ayla or Ayla. It'd be cool if you could right click on portraits and then get their voice lines, like a specialized voice line. I might actually suggest that. I'm going to pause. Okay, I submitted that on Discord. Either way, the best thing for us here is not going to be Ayla. I really don't need any weapons on the board right now. We can just go to Jungle Ruins, and we can take the special Plunderful Treasure here and gain a small silver tier item. Perfectly happy with that. Throw that on our board. You know, nothing special, but we don't need anything special right now. It actually does do some synergy with the Mantis Shrimp that we have, but it's not enough slow to field the Mantis Shrimp. Coconut Crab, not good for what we're doing right here. Coconut Crab would only be really good if we were doing like a hardcore shield build. Warrior is fine. A little bit of a tough fight early, very fast. And like Warrior is pretty does good damage and is pretty tanky. Not my favorite fight to go to, and there is almost no rewards of his that I want usually. The piggles he has are pretty weak. And so if you can beat Rogue Scrapper, that's usually what you want to go for. Coconut Crab can be good sometimes, especially because he has a really good skill. So we're going to take Rogue Scrapper here. Rogue Scrapper, his damage can be calculated. And I should, as someone who's played this game enough and who's teaching the game, should probably know a little bit better exactly what this calculation is. But I tend to play on feel with the Rogue Scrapper. And I should probably get that a little bit more clear. Obviously, with you know, Powder Flask and Pop Snappers, we have no trouble defeating this guy. But I will make a personal note to get that information locked down so that I can teach it the next time. All right, and because we've taken that one furry creature experience, we now see we have 2 experience left because of these open holes on the day. And we have 2 left on our experience bar, which means we're going to level up before the next fight. Interesting. So I know that I'm going to need some... I have spots to put stuff on my board. There's quite a few medium items I could get that would be pretty strong. I don't have any healing or shielding that would be benefited by Finn's Big Bite. And the regen's good, but I don't think it's necessary considering the board we have. So I'm going to go to Mattel and look for some good items. And we are rewarded for our decision here with a Volcanic Vents. That is far better than these Pop Snappers. We can go ahead and put that out. This is essentially 2.3 seconds burn. And we get a Star Chart. Star Chart... was in the one weapon build, but it's now in the usually good category here. I've got these notes on where I've moved stuff around, and that'll be coming out relatively soon with those changes, especially with the new patch. I need to make some updates to this stuff. But the reason that Volcanic Vents is in situationally OP is the exact situation that we are looking at here, where I can put this on the board and basically just, you know, uber charge the burn. The question is, do I want to reroll? And I think that I am interested. I think I am interested. Mostly because I could field one other thing. And I don't want to put these on the board. Or this. Or this. So I think I'll sell this. And take a look at one more. Love to put that on the board. Do I have enough money though? I don't think I do. That's 3. I would also need to sell this, which I think I'm fine doing. Yeah. Yeah. So, again, where am I going? No, the infinite path. There we go. Boom. Lifesaver here is very high on situational AOP, mostly because of this very situation. It's early game utility. And so I think I am willing to sell a bunch of stuff so that I can put this on my board. This just makes me incredibly tanky. It's going to be very hard for someone to kill me. I know that I'm going to gain to level 3, so I'm going to have that space to put this on my board before the next fight. Here we are in a position to take a strange mushroom or a non-weapon item. A strange mushroom either gives us gold or what? I can't remember actually. I don't take this one as often. A small non-weapon item is actually quite good. For my own edification, I'm going to take a strange mushroom because I need to burn this into my brain. I did think this was it. I should have said. I can gain 4 gold or a neutral item. In general, 4 gold, in my case, is going to be better. I just want to remain flexible and have money so that I can pivot away from and start thinking about, hey, well, what am I going to do on day 4, on day 5? And I'm going to need money to do that. A neutral item could be good, but it also could just end up being 1 gold or 2 gold. So 4 gold it is. We gain our level up. An ammo item could be good. A bronze tier loot item tends not to be very strong. I could get cooldown reduction, obviously, which is quite strong, but beyond that, I would just be getting a little bit of extra gold. I mean, sure, this on average is 3 gold, and this on average is 1 or 2 gold. But I could conceivably field whatever I get from load up, depending on what it is. And I do have the slot, so I'm going to click load up. That's perfectly fine. I'll take that any day of the week. We'll just throw that on our board. And it's 100. I mean, it's going to crit. It crits every time. So, you know, I don't even have to worry about it. I just got a free 100 damage. All right, we've got left-handed. Nice. He's got a shiny Clamora, probably from the enchant item start. Not much else as far as free synergy or haste synergy. So I don't think this guy has any chance to beat us. The amount of burn that we're putting out is just literally insane. He didn't even get us through the first fight. So, I mean, the first life that we have with Life Preserver. So, with the current board that I have, what we've done is we have hit some of the most situationally OP items that we can with Life Preserver, with Volcanic Vents, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, and Honing Steel here. And so how do we leverage this, right? We've made these choices to make our early game really powerful. How do you leverage a powerful early game? Well, the big thing is you need to not waste your items on building this specific board all that much better. We need to start thinking about what our board's going to be looking like in the next couple of days. So I could take 4 gold. I could take some chocolate bars, or I can go and look at some weapons. I think I'm happy to look at some weapons. You know, certain weapons can be defining for what kind of build you're going to do. So let's take a look. Trebuchet is quite good. Trebuchet is actually pretty good as far as an item for us. Just because it can take advantage of these burn if we can build a build around it. The best way to build Trebuchet in this patch is with Zoarcid, which I think is how you say this, Zoarcid. Whenever you burn, charge this, and then it does haste. So whenever this Zoarcid goes off, it's 1 weapon and 2 charge effects, 2 haste effects, which synergizes really well with the Trebuchet. Oh no. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I clicked back on here, and I must have clicked up here. Man, that is terribly unfortunate. So I just ended up skipping that. Well, you know, everything I said is true. But this is a good example of... And we're just going to have to move on. You know, I think I would have taken that Trebuchet, 8 days a week. But it is gone now. Here's a mistake I think a lot of people would make, would be to like add 2 burn to this volcanic vents. That is a big waste of money. Like that's exactly the type of thing I don't want to do right now. The things I want to be focused on are, okay, what build am I going to eventually be doing? What am I going to eventually be doing? And the best way for me to figure that out is visiting Midsworth. I'm happy to take this. 2 gold to just make this process a little bit better is nothing to scoff at. Perfectly happy with that. I also think I'm okay with this seaweed. I have enough aquatic things going on where the value of the seaweed is actually pretty decent. So we'll take that as well. I don't think I need this, and a reroll for 4 is way too high. All right. Dabbling Apprentice, Street Gamer, or Scout Trooper. With Scout Trooper here, we would gain 1, 2, 3 gold, and then 1 extra for this missing circle here. So I know that I've got 1, 2, 3 experience left in the day, which means as long as one of these things gives me 2 experience, I'm going to level to level 4 before the end of day 3. All that being said, what do I want to do? Scout Trooper has a really good skill for ammo. He's got, I forget what it is, Gunner I think is what it's called. It's just +1 ammo to all your stuff. Street Gamer gives you Tiny Refresh, which is healed on small item usage. None of those are great build-arounds. Dabbling Apprentice, you know, nothing super special going on there. I think we just take the most experience, and we can easily beat the Scout Trooper here. I'd be happy with Gunner. A Gunpowder would be very, very strong. That's pretty much all I want from this guy. I would take an Uzi as well. But yeah, the amount of burn we're doing is just too much for most people. And the sort of triple multicast with the seaweed's also pretty good. We're doing some pretty good stuff. Love to see a Gunpowder. Gunpowder is going to be really, really strong in a lot of builds, and that's why I have it so high up here. It's the top of usually good. And we're just going to hold on to that because we want to use it on the right thing. Small weapon, mountain pass, Kina. Again, I think my build's fine the way it is. I don't feel pressured to make my board all that much stronger. So mountain pass is probably the way to go here. It is a tough choice. We're about 1 day late for when I would love to take income, but 2 income, you know, let's say I win this day and then I've got 7 more days to go. So this is essentially 14 gold, right? I pay 1 gold to get a net gain of 13. And that is pretty good, but getting a XP increase right now would also be very strong. So I think I'll do this. Nice, nice. And this Burning Cutlass is good enough to be something we end up building around if we get this Fiery Cutlass. So we'll see if we do. We kind of have Honing Steel for it, and it would just swap out for Volcanic Vents, right? You're dead. Tempest Flame Dancer. Alright, I'll take 5 gold. Sure. Upgraded Bronze. Or teach Bronze tier skills. So, if we upgrade Volcanic Vents, it's just 1 more burn. I think that would be a big mistake here. I really don't care about that. A cheeky thing you could do is you could upgrade this bar of gold for 5 extra gold. So this would go to 10 gold, and then you could sell it. You could upgrade Grenade. It's not too bad. You could upgrade Seaweed. Toxic Fang being upgraded doesn't really mean much to me. Or we could take a skill. Again, I don't want to overcommit to my board. My board's fine enough as is, so I think a skill is actually good here. because I don't think upgrading any of these is probably going to matter all that much. And I think arbitrage here is perfectly fine. Getting some extra gold. I'm in a position where I'm very likely to win the next couple fights, so pretty happy with that. I could upgrade a bronze. I could get an aquatic item, a random one, or I could go to Barcoon. Very happy to go to Barcoon. Why? Because I can sell this for extra money. Now, this is interesting. I do have burn and poison for this weather glass. So I think I am going to take this. This actually ends up being really strong right now. Very strong. And so I want this here and this here like this. Because whenever I freeze, I want both of these to gain poison. Very nice. But I want this like this. So I can put this here. That way this is still gaining damage. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now the question is, do I want to sell this? It's rare that a weather glass build is the best way to go. It's rarely super strong, but this is looking pretty good. I think I will sell this for the extra money while I'm here, but I'll keep everything else, and I don't see any value in spending 4 bucks to reroll. All right, Bread Pimp. Let's beat him up. Beat him up. All right, looks like he might be going... Okay, Lanxian with a 20% crit. Even if it crits, it will not kill me in one shot. So I've got a pretty decent play here. And I've got this Life Preserver, which just makes me so hard to kill. I mean, look at the amount of damage I'm doing compared to him. He did like, what, 3/8 of my life? 3/8 of... Oh, so half of that. So, 3/16 of my total health. And I killed him. See ya. Buys your bronze tier items. Well, I don't really want to sell any of the ones I have. Ugh. So, kind of a tough thing to do. Like, you could take eating contest here and then hope to be able to, like, sell the bronze items. But because Valpak's here, he's one of the 2 places I could get that would increase the value of what I would sell back for those bronze chocolate bars. The other one being Barcoon. So I think I'm just going to take the guaranteed 4 gold. No need for it to be complicated. I don't see much value here in going to the abandoned chest. I guess one value of going here is you could duplicate the Yeti crab if I found a Yeti crab. But I don't think I'm in a spot where I'm doing enough freeze where that matters. The thing that would make it really strong, though, is if I get, like, an iceberg. And I've got, like, a duplicated Yeti crab. Let's go to Andy instead. So what do I mean when I say duplicate? So there is a process in the game where if I went to the Lost Crate there and I got an upgrade hammer, if I found a Yeti crab in the shop, it would always be bronze so that I could upgrade with the Yeti crab here. But then what you do is you use the upgrade hammer, upgrade yours to silver. It can no longer merge with the one in the shop. And then you end up having a bronze and a silver Yeti crab, which can be very strong. None of these are what I'm looking for. I don't want a bronze Clamora. I'm happy to take that. It's very good early game. I'm also happy to take this nesting doll. So originally this nesting doll was down here, nothing better. That's because it was disproportionately affected by the Great Bonkening. Anyone out there who heard that, you can take a shot. Let's make sure I click back into this correctly. Now that this is down to 2 seconds, I'm back to using this. And I like to take it early, because any shield upgrades I have, I can put on this, and I just keep it around, let it gain max ammo at the start of each day, and sometimes it's really, really strong later, depending on kind of how the thing shifts out. It's definitely nothing to scoff at. It's a high, quick use item, works pretty good with like things like Water Wheel or Ballista, if those end up being places that we want to go to. Now, I don't play Weatherglass very often, so let me think here. Boiler Room Brawler and Retiree, neither of these two guys have anything that we really care too much about. So I think the best thing for me to do is just kill the thing that's worth the most. I would definitely be fine with left-handed here. And now if I get scrap, I've got something that... I've got that nesting doll that I can throw that on. His Ganjo is not super useful for me. I think we're doing pretty good on damage. This life preserver here is one of the reasons I feel so confident about our position. The first 2 times use your rightmost item. Charge 1 slow item. Or crit on your leftmost item. Interesting. Silver Argenta here is very tough because she has... Oh, I have voice lines turned off. No wonder I can't hear the voice lines. There's a lot of skills in silver, so you kind of have to take what you're going to get. It's pretty rare that you get something particularly powerful. Do I reroll for 4? I've got the money. I've got the money. Or do I just take 16 crit? I mean, 16 crit is nothing to scoff at. It's perfectly fine. I think I'll just take the 16 crit. I'm not perfectly happy with it, but it does impact my board, and it's good enough. Smaller medium items here. Now, I do not play Weatherglass very much, so I'm a bit out of my depth on how to maximize this, but I know I'm looking for a slow item. Currently don't have a slow item, but I've got everything else. I've got freeze, poison, and burn. And there are a lot of slow items out there. I think for now I'll just utilize my navigator with my star chart here. Note that this also works with Astrolabe. And that's one of the reasons that Astrolabe is going to be moved up from a void to probably top or near top of nothing better, just because of that interaction there. Now, this is great, because if I know I have 1 experience guaranteed, so if I get a 3 experience fight, I'll end up being level 6 before this next fight, which would be a huge deal. So I think it is worth it for me to go to the mountain pass. Oh, unfortunate. What did we get? Hey, a Clamora. You know what that is? That is a slow item that I can put on my board. Boom, 5 times multicast, just like that. Alright, and let's fight against Sophist here. Looks like they might be doing classic pig things where they lose a bunch of fights early. Do they have Fixer-Upper? Yo-Yo, Matchbox, Double Matchbox with hot stones. Yeah, this guy might have just been unlucky up to this point, or maybe he just got his Double Matchbox going. I think because we have Life Preserver, we'll end up beating him, but ooh, well, we got him anyway. Interesting that if we both die at a tie, that Life Preserver doesn't trigger there. Yeah, so he does. Very surprised to see him at 0 wins there. He must have got his Double Matchbox on that day. All right, so we are looking good on money. We've got some cool stuff in the bank. We're still looking to get a more clear build defined. I think we go to Curio here. A couple of things that I'd really like to see. First off is Improvised Bludgeon. Very, very good with Clamora, so we'll take that. Is Shadowed Cloak better than Honing Steel of gold? A tough call. This is going to fall off. I can maybe do 1 more day of Life Preserver at silver before it's no longer worth it. I don't know if this Shadowed Cloak is worth it, though. You can put this on your weather glass, and then your weather glass ends up like giving itself 5 haste, right? Which is not bad, you know. Definitely not a bad way to play. I don't think I want it though. I'm gonna refresh. I can take that. That's just an upgrade. I can definitely take rocket boots. Yeah, we got some good stuff here. So first thing, I know I'm going to do this. So now this is a 2-second clamora, which is so good. We're going to hold on to this rocket boots because eventually we'll find something to use it on. Insect wing's great. Spider's fine. We'll put the spider bite on our weather glass. And we'll also reduce the cooldown of our weather glass. Perfect. Don't think I care about the rest of these things. The heal doesn't matter. So overall, that was very, very valuable. The biggest thing is getting that extra slow on Clamora makes it a bajillion times better, especially once you start getting this higher level. You know, if this is doing 2 or 3 seconds slow, it's a much, much stronger item than when it's just doing 1 second. That's why this is in the situationally OP, very near the top of situationally OP. And in fact, I should move it above holsters. Let me make a note of that. The big thing there is it's just less situational. Like holsters can be incredibly good, but it requires you to have a bunch of small items, whereas Clamora doesn't require a bunch of small items, right? Okay, I do have at least 2 small items I'd be happy to sell, but a mountain pass is hard to pass up, pun intended. The big thing is there are some large items that we could start seeing from Barcoon that would be extremely good for us. Maybe a lighthouse, right? Maybe a iceberg. Really, really strong. Hard to pass up a Barcoon because it could have stuff that's really, really good, these large items. I could also see like electric eels being pretty good. All depending. All that being said, I think I'm just going to run it up the middle and do escort the convoy. This tends to be the best option on the field pretty much any time it's offered. You know, if you win this fight, you're just so far ahead compared to the average player. The more of these fights you win, the more likely you are to succeed overall. This Thurible went from 9 to 6 seconds. This Ouroboros statue is pretty good too. I wonder what we'll get. Heal equal to your enemy's poison. Interesting. That is not bad. Is that better than Life Preserver? It is worth considering. I do think Life Preserver is out. This is in. This is back in. Sure. For now, this is kind of what we'll just be putting on the board. Silver or silver loot or aquatic. Quite a few aquatic items that I'd be really happy to get at silver tier. Some of which, you know, I might get an upgrade or a duplication because this can duplicate an item as well as this one. Sextant would also be really, really good. The silver tier loot, the main thing I'd be looking for there is cooldown reduction, maybe ammo. So I think we'll do this. Maybe we get a good aquatic item. Not exactly what we're looking for, but not terrible. Worth keeping around for just a second, but probably won't end up making it on our board. Mod Squad, Infernal Envoy. So this guy does have some new he's got new stuff, doesn't he? Infernal Envoy. Oh, I gotta go to monsters. Infernal. Envoy. Okay. He's got Restorative Fireclaw. Burn equal to the burn of your other items. Heal 10 times your burn. Gain regen for the fight. Burn equal to your regen. Deal damage equal to the regen plus burn of both players. Interesting. Is that good? Is that good enough? I don't think it is. I don't think that's going to mean much for us. Yeah, I think we just take mod squad here, just because there's nothing that they have is going to be worth the risk for. But like, you know, getting a bulldozer or a gold crypto, even a beautiful friendship here would be pretty legit. And I haven't looked at my recaps in a while, so let's see what we got. Not great, but let's look at our recap. So this is where most of our damage is coming from, which is good. 160 is not bad. It looks like this went off at a pretty early point. I mean, that's not too bad. 1 poison, 51 healing, and 4 slow's good. All right, take our trash. So at this point, a level up on Yeti Crab I could see being useful. Midsworth could give us large items though, and he'll buy our medium items. So instead of upgrading Yeti Crab, I think I'll go to Midsworth. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Ice Pick here is pretty legit in some situations. I don't think Electric Eels is worth it. It's not enough damage, and we don't have any way to scale its damage right now. I am going to pick up Ice Pick just because if I get an Iceberg, it's actually nuts. So I'll take that. I'll refresh. No, those are trash. I still want to keep these. I don't care about this or this or this. Alright, that's fine. Still not worth it to sell Volcanic Vents, so we can upgrade a silver or lower tier item. Clamora here. That's looking pretty good. Weatherglass just gets more burn, right? Again, I do not play Weatherglass very much. It's very rarely the oh, sorry. I should just go to all. Weatherglass just gains burn and poison. And it's some, but not a lot. Interesting to me that this burns more. I guess it's thematic that it burns more. But I think upgrading Clamor here is the best choice. We'll get an extra slow out of this. And it's early enough where this could end up being very powerful. Okay, now this is a time where I think upgrading the Yeti Crab is the best choice, because we don't know what JJ's going to have, and the chance of him having trash is non-zero, to say the least. So I will be happy here to upgrade my Yeti Crab. Perfect. And I think that having this out is actually going to be better than Ectoplasm on average. Well, actually, this might end up healing for quite a lot. And the fact that this is not going to damage very much, so I disagree. Hey, it's Retromation. I've seen this name before. I think this guy is a YouTuber. Let's see what he's up to. Crow's Nest, Dock Lines, Double Barrel. He's doing the basic stuff, and he's got augmented weaponry. Well, luckily we've got some slows, and we've got some freezes for him, so... And I'm about to do a bunch of damage. So I think it'll be very hard for him to win this fight. Yeah. When you're playing one weapon Vanessa and you're losing, and you have augmented weaponry, I don't know if I feel bad for you. But you know what? This guy's probably going to get 10 wins with a build like that. He's got everything he needs. He just needs the time to put it all together. I got plenty of gold. Not a lot of weapons I'm currently fielding. Not a lot of weapons I can think about that I want. But I don't want 50 health, and 5 gold doesn't matter a whole lot. I could get an obsidian item, because Ayla can sell obsidian items. That could be very strong, so we'll go to Ayla. None of these. No, I don't think this... If this was maybe silver, I would maybe consider it over something like this. Flagship. I've got a tool. I've got a friend. I've got an ammo. We might be able to... We could conceivably switch into flagship. Is it worth floating? That's the question. Is it worth floating? Flagship's very good. I mean, I think I have flagship for good reason as the highest weapon. And I think that this is a little different now. I think it's actually cutlass moved above double barrel. Do I have that? The reason is because I'm really trying not to click on this leaving counter as I click back in. That the passive on Cutlass is just so strong. It's just so strong. Very tough. Do I want to field this flagship? I've got a tool, a friend, an ammo. I do have a lot of the makings of it. I'd be a little low on room. Let's take it. I've got the money. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this day plays out. All right. Very happy to see Bazaar Con. Love to see this get reduced to 0. I've actually taken this a couple times when I'm low on money, and it can be very strong. And every once in a while, I'd also take Swag Collector when I knew I needed a small item, but I just didn't have anything. But generally, 2 experience is hard to pass up. We are very far ahead of the curve as far as the experience is concerned this fight. I mean, this run. Dire Mosquito. This has whenever you slow haste a item, right? Dire Mosquito. When you slow haste a weapon, specifically a weapon. So that would just be this. It's not bad, but not special. I don't want that. And I think we can beat Infernal. Let's try to beat Infernal. It'll be a little close, but I think we can do it. He is a bit slow. The Infernal has a very low power level that just spikes super high all of a sudden. So we'll see if we can manage to stay alive long enough. I don't think we will. Yikes. No. Yep, our timing is just not perfect there. Oof. A tough fight. Should have known better. That's a big deal. Really big deal. And now we end up having to go to JJ. Because we don't want the other options. Ectoplasm, I don't think is doing much for us. And neither is this seaweed. But this could be good. Yep, and even if it's 5 seconds, I can put this on it to increase its haste duration. And it combines very well with the flagship here. We do refresh. Oh, wow. Very nice. Dock lines and dive weights. Interesting. I do like dock lines here a lot. Very good with Clamora. Once you reach a critical level of slow, it gets so much better. But I'm running out of room. Too many good options. Too many things to float. I wonder if selling this volcanic vents is the move. Going down one multicast here so that I can field this. And then I can increase the haste on this. I think that feels pretty good. I don't think I want that. Not bad, though. Is it worth just holding for a bit? I definitely have the aquatic items to field it. Whoops. Hopefully it shows up now. Okay. And I can give it 1 ammo here. It's very good with flagship if I end up doing that. Alright. Tough choices. Alright, ammo skills. Nothing that I could use for ammo right now, at least. Weapon skills or gold tier. Weapon skills could be the thing that makes flagship worth putting on the table. Things like tempering. So I will click that. Steel Storm. Left-handed. Heavy firepower. See, like, this is a little silly. Like, this requires no setup, and it's 30 damage. Oh, but this is 25 damage for every weapon, technically. But we'll take left-handed here. Perfectly happy with that. Fits with what we're doing, and is good with flagship. Upgrade-wise, the biggest thing we'd be looking for is one of these two, so it would cost 10 to upgrade it. Do I have 10? It would be costly. Upgrading this doesn't matter to me very much. Upgrading this is 5. It's fine. I think I'd rather see more items than upgrade what I have. Mostly because I just don't have the money to pay for it, and I don't really feel like selling anything. I think we'll go to Mattel. None of those. Astrolabe's just way too slow. You would think it would be good, and it's not bad. But like the fact that this is 6 seconds and only charges 1 second and only hastes 2 seconds, too many. This just doesn't add up. Just doesn't add up. Interesting. Whenever you slow, charge this 2 seconds. Is that better than Captain's Wheel? What an idea. This is 3 charges, so that's 6 seconds. This is 2 charges. So every time this goes off, it's a full use of this. I don't think it's better. No, I don't think it's better, and I don't want the rest. All right. We haven't lost yet. But now we're getting to the point where we might. Let's see how we do. But luckily we have a very powerful build that we can swap into with this flagship, if we can get to it. Alright, he's got Rush. He's doing power drill stuff. And Uzi. We did get a crit there on our Toxic Fang. Our slows are good, but I don't know if they're good enough. Luckily, see how that big slow? Oh my goodness, wow, that slow really helped us there. Allowed us to tie. And we were able to outburn with 1 burn item, a burn Dooley. Whew, Exciting. Got a little adrenaline rush. All right, 10 gold. Docks, Kina, or a small aquatic item. I like this picture a lot. We've got the docks for one more day, so this is the last day to do docks. So if we take this docks, that means we can sell Star Chart, because we can't get docks again today. And, well, I think we could technically get it on day 8. But I would be happy selling it after this one, if it makes things easy. Easy choice, Mountain Pass here. Give me something I can kill. That's not what I was looking for. Ooh, and it's bad. Sure, we'll get rid of that. Interesting. We are pretty good against Radiant Corsair, and there's actually quite a... Dude, Ghost Pepper is hard, by the way. Ghost Pepper is really hard and fast. But I think we are good enough at slowing Radiant Corsair that we actually can do pretty good against him. I think we can. It's going to be close. Let's try it. It's going to be close. We got lots of slows. And there is quite a few things we would be interested. Mostly Lighthouse, Fiery Rebirth, and then the rest all sells for pretty good. So that's kind of the main draw there. Alright, not cool. Just don't crit me, please. Please don't crit me. Love to see these slows on Anchor. No crit. Okay, I think we've got him. Nice. Yep. Very cool. I will take free money, as it turns out. That's trash. Silver tier gunpowder. I think that's pretty good. The big thing here is that this is a tool and a ammo item for flagship. And it having more ammo is just absolutely nuts. So taking the extra ammo here is great. Okay. Don't want that. Don't want chocolate bars. Hopefully we get a flagship upgrade. That'd be great. Those are not flagship upgrades. Those... There's a case to be made for powder keg. But not at silver like this. You know, I think Weatherglass and powder keg are a match made in heaven, but you kind of need... This is great. This Bounty Hunters means that I'm going to be level 10 on day 7, which is a whole day ahead. I've gained so much experience this run. I would love to go to Mattel. There's so many medium items I want. So many. But the prospect of getting to an enchantment... I don't... Yeah, I think I'd rather have 2 extra experience than 4 gold in a random item. Awesome. Shield or enchant? I definitely don't think shield is the way to go. Is there an item on this? What is flagship? Let's see what you got. So, depending on how this goes, flagship could be worth putting on the board already. I would be looking for like icy, heavy, fiery, toxic, right? What about Weatherglass? Weatherglass. Heavy is very good. Freeze is good. Turbo's good. Those are both good. Oh, actually, let's try Weatherglass. 160 heal, huh? It's not terrible. Especially considering it's the burn that actually scales it up, though. And I don't have any burn scaling. Do I have anything I want to field? There is a case to be made that this is... I need to upgrade this before it's actually good. Right now I think this is better. But this needs one more haste before it's better than Captain's Wheel, in my opinion. Okay. We may not win this fight, but let's see how it goes. Water wheel. We are doing... Ah, interesting. This is a pure burn lighter build with Oceanic Rush. That Oceanic Rush hit a bronze fishing net. Love to see that. I don't know if this guy can beat me. You know, as much as he is going to be putting a lot of burn, the heal that I have actually matters a lot here. Believe it or not. Look at all that heal. I mean, it is mattering a lot. But is it enough? It is. Alright. I mean, you can make the case that anything would have made a big difference there on that weather glass. But, you know, us having the enchantment, being level 10 on day 7, was the reason that we handily won that fight. I think we would have lost without the heals. It was over 1,000 in healing. Don't want a small weapon. Don't want chocolate bars. Wow. Cool. Game is getting cool. Alright, that's definitely got to make its way on our board. This is out. I don't know if I care about that anymore either. I do want this and this. Like this. Oh, but this is the thing that scales, and it's our... So I guess this is out. This is in. Is it this? And then we've got aquatic, aquatic, aquatic. And if I can get... What am I missing? Not freeze. Burn. Another burn. If this is, it gets burn or something. Okay, you're out. You're out. You're out. But none of these are out yet. Okay. Nope. None of those. This needs to go here, though. So that this is with that. And I like this ordering better. Sure. Okay, a temporary boost is not bad. Right now, that we are at 7 wins, haven't lost once. Some of the main considerations that I have are making sure we win as many of the next fights as possible. That being said, there are quite a few non-weapon items I'd want. I have enough money where I don't need the spare change. Very interesting. This might be better than restorative weather glass. We are clicking it for sure. That's not a property. I don't want that. Oh my lord. Is it 10% crit? Not bad. I mean, isn't this just nuts? Isn't this just absolutely crazy? And then, like this, right? I don't need that. I think this is absolutely crazy. Do I care to have 10 more crit? I do care. I do care to have 10 more crit. Alright. So we've made it full circle here to a slow build. And one of the things that I've added to slow build is Shipwreck added to slow build. Alright. So there's a reason that Shipwreck makes it into this build so well, and it's because it's nuts. We gotta go Dragon. His skill would be insane for us. And this is mispositioned. Unfortunate. Hopefully that doesn't end up mattering too much. I should be 1 second faster on this. But yeah, look at this slow. I mean, absolutely insane. Love to see this. And right now is when, you know, ooh, come on. My lord. Thank you, Raynad. Okay, forgot what I was saying. This needs to be repositioned here. That way it'd have 6-second cooldown, yeah. Crit skills, free skills, skills unique to Vanessa. We definitely want skills unique to Vanessa. Why? Because there's barnacle encrusted or whatever, which will reduce the cooldown of aquatic stuff. We didn't end up getting it. That's okay. We can take Stunning Strike, which is a 3-second freeze at silver. I think that every bit of burn that I have at this point counts a lot. So I am actually going to go to the Artisan Dunes and spend my last vestiges of gold to add 2 more burn to this lighthouse. And I think that that feels pretty good, frankly. I would love to upgrade this. So I do kind of feel bad about that, but we'll just get a free item here. Perfectly happy to sell that. The big thing here is once this goes off, it's going to super juice this lighthouse, and we are going to be doing some huge damage. Salt for lunch, huh? More slow on our Clamora is going to be really, really strong. This guy is likely doing Matchbox stuff. He's got a Turbo Marbles, but let's just see this go off. Boom, 46. That is a lot of burn. Sorry, bud. But whatever you thought you were doing, this isn't it. This is not it. So at this point, we are being a little bit carried by Draconic Rage. I think that the biggest carry that we are doing right now is that we got that gold shipwreck, and we have a Clamora that's really strong right at the start. We've upgraded it. We put a little love into it by getting it that 1 extra slow. That's really mattering a lot. This is the situation in which this Clamora is really, really powerful. I don't care about this blue Piggles. I would love to get an upgraded Clamora or upgraded dive weights, both of which are small items. None of those. None of those. Just make sure I don't want any of that. No, this is our main way that we're going to get haste, so I'd like to get this. I'd like to keep this. I'd love to upgrade it, though. We'll click into Tox, because that could have a dive weights. It'll be 8, right, to buy silver dive weights. So I have 4 here. So I can do this and see if I get it. I did not get it, but we tried. And I don't think that that Illusoray is worth it. Gold tier loot item could be good, but I'm low on gold, and there are a lot of things I'd like to buy. So I'm going to get a gold item because I can sell this for money. Blood Reef Captain. I think he has something good if you have a vehicle. I love that shipwreck counts as a vehicle, as if it could be, the act of driving it could occur. Blood Reef Captain. Your items are, if you have a vehicle, weapon, and tool. I have a tool and a vehicle. So that is pretty good, but I think on average, Roaming Isle actually has some decent stuff. I think he even has a gold Clamora. No, it's silver. Darn. Too easy. Too easy. Not even close. Sure, we'll sell that. Nothing useful there, nothing useful there. We'll take a look at what Midsworth has. Nope. And he can sell large items, so we could get a lighthouse from him. So I do want to sell this to him because it'll sell for 2 extra. So maybe we get the lighthouse here. We do. Nice. Very happy to see that. Little extra burn. That's the only thing that happens with the lighthouse, but that burn actually adds up to quite a bit. We do not have enough money to go to Goldie, unfortunately, but we can always do an epic battle, and we can continue to further our experience lead into the stratosphere. And we did get that crit. That's what's actually doing the stunning strike here. I'm always kind of looking for that when that 33% crit, 36% crit happens. And we are reaping the benefit of that left eye. That actually ended up mattering because it's kind of what's helping us trigger this stunning strike if we didn't take that early. So all of that comes back to our decision at level 5 when we chose to do that silver skill to just take left eye. It ends up being useful. A lot of really good upgrades. We're definitely upgrading. The question is what? Docklines is a great upgrade. Dive weights is a great upgrade. Clamor is a great upgrade. Really tough to choose between these 3. This is going to give us a lot more haste. This is going to give us a lot more right out of the gate power. I think against 1 weapon builds, upgrading Clamor doesn't matter that much because on average, 3 items is the most items they'll have, right? Similar point for Docklines. The thing is, we're not going to just be fighting against 1 weapon builds. There's a lot of people right now who are at that, 9 win, 10 win, who still are fielding a lot of items, and they haven't honed in onto like 1 really good item. Oh, that is a tough choice. So for me, it's between Clamora and dive weights. The big thing about dive weights here is that we're going to double its effectiveness, and it's already hasting a lot. So it means that our mid-game push, so like we'll hit him hard, we'll hit him pretty hard right at the start, but then we'll get super juiced once dive weights goes off. Tough choices. I think I'm going to do this. I think this gold Clamora is really good already. So let's see if my decision paid off. Very tough choice. Against Dooley, having the upgraded Clamor would almost certainly be better. Wow, look at that. An instant go from him. Very impressed with the amount of stuff that he's doing right at the start. A lot of slow. Ooh. Golly, he's got me. He's got one of the most overpowered things in the game. No wonder he's coming back. Let's recap that. The first times you use a tool, each fight haste 1 tool. So how did he immediately start going? Conflag, flashy mechanic, propane tank. Ah, look at that. Propane tank. At the start of the fight, use this. Haste your vehicles for 4 seconds. Burn both players. So that's 1 trigger on Race Carl. It is 1 second charge on this ignition core. So the haste makes Race Carl go off. Or charge 2 seconds. And because we hasted, it charges Power Drill 2 seconds. 2 burn charges Power Drill 2 times. When you use a tool, haste another tool for 1 second. So that's 1 more. So this immediately is 4 triggers for Power Drill, which is enough for it to go off, which then charges Race Carl with a haste and slows, which is another charge for Power Drill. And at that point, Ignition Core has gone off, which hastes. So he has an absolutely nutty start here from Propane Tank. And he's got Flashy Mechanic, Conflagration, Heavy Machinery, Tools of the Trade, and Petrifying Gaze, all of which is, and Command Ship. So he definitely deserved the win. Let's see it one more time. Very strong build. Yeah, I mean, you can just see how fast he gets going. And sure, we get that slow off. That, like, one freeze was almost enough. But he's also got just enough slow to kind of perma-slow everything we have. Just barely. And that was what really held us back there. So in this case, having that Clamora at level upgraded, I think would have been much better. Because dive weights basically didn't even get to go off. What can you do? We made our decision, and we'll sit with it. All right. And we could take the cinders here, get our lighthouse a little bit stronger, but an upgrade here on Clamor or with dock lines is going to be better. So let's just see what Kina's got to offer. Nothing we want, but sometimes you do get what you want, don't you? Happy to go to Pearl's dig site here. Anything that gives me a lot of money is something I am interested in. That's a lot of money right there. Interesting. Proboscis. That is a fair amount of damage, actually. $12 plus 30. Is that better than dive weights? Hard to say. I'm going to take the money. I don't think Proboscis is better. It looks good, but I just don't have enough damage to actually really take advantage of it. It's actually pretty good, all things considered. Awakened District's great for us here. We've got trickle-down economics, which would be really good, because we probably would not need dive weights once we had trickle-down economics. We could switch that out for something else. So that's kind of that mid-game push from dive weights there. Big haste happening. Sure, happy to take some money. Weapon skills, haste and charge. I definitely think some things that would help me get started faster would be good. So I'm going to take Zara. Freeze is great. When you haste, freeze. So once this dive weights gets to go off, then we'll freeze them for quite a lot. There's a case to be made for going to Jewels here. But dock lines is very likely to be very powerful. Interesting. That's not good enough, but certainly cool to look at. We pretty much always take wanted poster if we get offered it. Disguise, we have the money, so it's worth fishing. Who knows what we get? And we ended up end up spending any money there. Blunderbuss. Not enough damage for it to be worth it. You know, that's one of the reasons that Blunderbuss... I don't want to move this to situationally OP. I really do want to keep it in that sort of nothing better. And even then, it is very hard to use. I'm considering putting it in a void. You know what? Blunderbuss in a void. It is just so niche when you would actually use that item. Small and large. I could find quite a few things that would be good here. Those are not it. Those are not it. I'll take this though. And so, day 10, we have 11 prestige. So even if we lose here, we're guaranteed at least 2 more fights. So I do feel good about our chances, especially with the amount of money that I have sitting in my pocket. I feel like there's quite a few ways that we could continue to improve this build. Cutlass, cloak, figurehead, and a harpoon. I'm glad we slowed this harpoon. That will make a lot of difference. All right, we get a freeze. Yeah, this guy's got no chance. People who are weak to slow, see how he has these 3 items? That was the consideration I had for Clamora, right? Is that You know, there's no fourth item to slow there. All right. There's no weapon I would want, so we'll go to pearls. Interesting. Beast of Burden. Nope. Fun to think about. When you freeze. No. No. Interesting. Oh, no. I don't think I can put this on. That's a cool idea, though. Just like full Clamora. Add one more multicast to this. I think I'm just going to... I'll go... I don't want to lose all my money. I'm just going to take this and sell it. Gold tier loot, gold tier ammo, gold tier item. Right now I'm doing very good on money, so I don't feel pressured to buy this, so I will take the gold tier loot item. Nice. That's very good. The question is, where does it go? So this gets charged 2 seconds every time that we use a slow. So this slows 3 times, which is 6 seconds of charge, but each time it's charged, there's a 0.2 second waiting period. So this is optimal to be at 6.6 seconds if it's not hasted. If it's hasted, it's best at 6.3 seconds. Oh, no, that's not how that works, is it? It means that at 4.8 seconds or 7.2 seconds, I would get the same effect. So that's a little hard to explain. But basically, you got to keep in mind that there's 0.2 seconds in between each charge, but that's essentially 0.4 seconds of cooldown if it's hasted. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's effectively 0.4 seconds. But getting this below 6.6 is obviously valuable. And I think I can just immediately do that. So that goes to Lighthouse. Don't need fins. Might take 1.5. No, it's just for the next fight. We go to Barcoon. To Barcoon. Interesting. Is this better than Docklines? We're going to click it. We can't not click it. Don't want any of those, though. Do I have a medium to sell? No. Ooh, is this better? That is tough to say. I think it is. Yep. I think it's better. Some freezing could be really good here. Ah, but I don't get the Draconic Rage, actually. Ooh. Very tough. Alright, we'll go Frost Street Champion. I think he's kind of a pushover. Yep, and see that one use of Clamora was enough to fully use the Lighthouse, which is kind of what we're looking for. Invigorating Cold would be great. Don't care about that. I'll sell that. Happy to look at some tools. We could get so many good things, like dock lines. And just the dock lines, that's fine. Goodbye. Goodbye. So at this point, getting higher level of dock lines here, I don't know how valuable that is, but I think some health here is actually sometimes makes all the difference. All right, we are against Exeter. Let's see if we can beat him. We've got 2 good freezes. We'll see what he's up to using pouty-lipped Vanessa. We've got a shielded trebuchet and a musket. Interesting. He's got a full weapon build here. Our Clamor is going to be really strong against this. And the fact that we have big AoE slows, looks like he doesn't have a lot of good haste triggers. He just does a lot of damage really fast. I don't think his musket ever got off 2 items for 6 seconds. Let me see that recap. Okay, he only got 1 use of his turbo musket there. And the idea was that that does haste, which kind of feeds back into the trebuchet. Interesting. And a very high crit chance. Cool build, with knife tricks too. He's got a really good build. But it was not enough, and our Lighthouse Shipwreck build ends up cinching the 10 wins. Sweet. That was a fun build. I think that was a really good showing of how to use the early skill option with Vanessa and convert it into a build. As you saw, at one point we had 3 possibilities for builds. We had the fire build we were running. We had a slow build, so I guess 4 builds. The slow build that we eventually transitioned to, the flagship, and the freeze build, which is now more of a thing now that Iceberg has been buffed. You can do like Ice Pick plus Iceberg plus Yeti, right? That's kind of what you're looking to do. Yeah, great game. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.